Hey YouTube, I'm back with part one of my workbench build. What you see here is what I'm going to use for the back. You know, it's pegboard, it's metalwork. I'm dropping stuff on the floor. I don't know if they sell this stuff like this anymore. It was in my house in the stairwell going to the basement, being used for absolutely nothing, and it measures out to be perfect. It was built exactly the way this is. I'm not going to do anything but paint this. Basically, you know, put your little hanger on there and ta-da, it works. Or like this style hanger, drop it in there and boom. I've got a lot of these style hangers, which are from like they're actually from Rite Aid. If you're not familiar with Rite Aid, it would be like a Walgreens or a CVS or something like that, just local drugstore. I've got a whole little basket over here full of them. So I'm gonna cut a bunch of these up and modify them to work with whatever tool I need to hang, whether if it's crescent wrenches or regular box wrenches or whatever. Basically, so I'm going to be able to hang a whole bunch of these things all over this and have that kind of tool storage. Probably make some to hang my, I don't know, maybe not my paint guns, I'm not sure. Right now I'm only going to build one bench. I had talked about building three. There's only going to be two benches built, and here's the reason why. Initially I thought I was going to build these benches only 4 feet wide. I don't exactly know why I was thinking that, because it's a bit of a waste of material. I'm going to do them 8 feet wide, and the reason being is I think with these I'm going to make, at least with the first one, I think I'm going to do the bench top out of 16 gauge sheet, just because I have this and I kind of want a metal top surface because it'll be easier to clean up than wood, and it won't get the gouges in. I do have this piece of plywood over here that I could use, but I'm not going to, at least not for the first one. I might for the second one, but I'm not sure. But the idea is that I could just use one sheet, rip it in half, use that full half for the top, and then all these other pieces along here to box in. There's going to be some cabinets on the bottom side of it to box all that in. Hopefully I'll have enough. If I don't, then oh well. This drawing's kind of hard to figure out. This is a side view. Okay, ignore all the curvature stuff here and then the gussets on the legs. Ignore that just because I'm just kind of dabbling. Essentially what you're going to have, let me get something to point at this other than my hand. Here we go. Essentially what we're going to have here is it's going to look like this. Okay, you got your back leg, your front leg, your 2 crossbars, and if you look here, this isn't one solid piece, okay? What's going to happen is this will be the back view of the entire thing. The crossbar that runs across here is going to be what you're seeing these little squares are. They're going to run the full 96 inches from end to end, and the reason I chose to do that is because I am going to put some sort of like a wall over the side of that to keep things from just getting dumped off the side, and it'll cover up the open end of the tubing, and I just think it'll be structurally better. So that's why that kind of looks like that. So that's the basic side design of the frame. This is the bench top, the framing for it, and this will be underneath. Okay, so this first area here is this. This other one here is here, the shelf. Okay, the shelf is going to be like an old school teacher's desk where this area here in the center is open, and this area here is going to be storage, and I'm eventually going to build doors for it. So that's why we have the tubing here that sticks out and the tubing there that sticks out, because eventually I'm going to build a frame for a door, and there'll be a hinge that attaches to this piece of tubing, so that this way the door face is flat to this surface, this tubing surface, and they'll swing out like that, and the opposite on this side. So that's the plan. Kind of give you a rundown of how I plan this out. I don't do very many drawings on the computer. I am capable of doing it. I do have 3D CAD programs and stuff. It just takes a while, you know. It's easier for me to do rough drawings on paper and erase things and adjust it and think it out that way for me than it is to draw stuff up on a CAD program. But basically, here's my parts list. It's all going to be built out of 3/4 inch square tubing, 16 gauge, and that's the parts list I have, in each piece needs to be measured out to that. This part code that I have down here, essentially that's going to tell me where everything goes once it's all cut, because I'm going to just sit here with the chop saw and chop all this stuff up. Then I'm going to come and start assembling it. So as I'm cutting them, I'm going to take a Sharpie and mark them all, A, B, C, D, you know, so on and so forth. Then I'll come over here and I'll assemble it. This drawing, I have everything tagged as far as where the pieces go. So then I won't have to worry about anything. This drawing here was essentially just for me to kind of figure out what I wanted as far as dimensions, and then I started doing all the math for the pieces with the calculator. So this back area, the backsplash, if you will, this area between the shelf and the top, it's going to be, you know, this is a really crude drawing, but this section here with all the just dots in the 3 section is this, okay, the pegboard. This section here is going to be for all my Harbor Freight plastic bins. All these poly bins right here. For those that have missed my review on these, go check out my other videos. I'll put a link in the description to, I don't know, just go check out my videos. They're in there. There's actually 2 videos. There's an unboxing for these, and then there's a comparison for these Stanley ones that I have. This actually, the Harbor Freight ones work out perfect for this particular bench. There's 20 in each box, and the way I have this designed, we'll use 40 of them, okay? I may split this in half, 20 on each side. I was kind of thinking about that. I'll have to do a little bit more thinking if I really want it to be that way or not. But I was thinking 20 on this side and then 20 on this side and center the pegboard. And I might do that. You know, it seems like a good symmetrical idea, considering, you know, I'll have a bench here, like a stool, so I can sit here in the center and work on things. It just kind of makes sense. We'll see. That's probably the route I'm going to go, but as I start building and framing out this thing, I'll see, because I do have some flat bar and I do have to make the hangers for those poly bins, so we'll see how it goes. If it's going to be a waste of material or significantly more effort and work for me to split it up into 2 sections on each side of the pegboard, then I'll just put it on one side. So that's what I'm working on. Just wanted to kind of go over the drawings and the plans with you real quick, since this is the first video. Right now what I'm going to do, because I have about 35 minutes, that clock's a little fast, until the UFC prelims start for UFC 7 on Fox. I'm a big UFC fan, so I figured what I was going to do now, I got my toolbox all covered in plastic, and I'm going to use this Rust-Oleum hammered finish paint to just paint over this. It's a copper, hammered copper look. Just to paint this, it'll have plenty of time to dry and you know, make it uniform and nice. It's probably going to get banged up later, but that looks like crap and I don't want my brand new bench to look terrible. This pegboard has got some dents and stuff in it. I don't really care too much about that. Obviously with the second bench I build, the pegboard will be new. I'm not sure if I can find metal pegboard. I might have to use the wood pegboard. It doesn't really matter to me, just as long as it looks good and functions well. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'll edit in the process of me painting that. Okay, so always be smart. I'm in the garage. Wear your respirator when you're painting and when you're welding and working with metal, unless you want cancer. Okay, now I should still be wearing my respirator, but I'm just about going to take off out of here. Just wanted to give you guys a quick showing of what this looks like up close. I'm going to put another coat on. Really, I should have done a lighter coat than this, but again, this is a workbench. I don't really care too much. I'm not looking for a show car finish here. I'm just trying to make sure it's fully painted. I really like this paint. It has kind of a textured look to it. That's what that hammered finish is. I know it doesn't really look too copper. Looks kind of more like a brown, especially in the video. But it does have like a little bit of a red copper tone to it. I don't have a penny or nothing like that. But let me compare it to the lid. So if you go to the store or whatever, you can kind of see. The lid shows the hammer finish a lot better. To get it to look like that lid, you really got to put a lot on there. If you do light coats on there, you're not going to get it to look nearly as textured. But as far as the color is concerned, it's pretty close. It's a little bit darker, a little bit more muted than the lid, but subtly. Again, I think it would show more of that look if I put this on real heavy. The only problem I have is I've used this before on a piece of furniture. If you look through my videos, there's a photograph or a short video of an ottoman that I built. I used the same color or the same type of paint, but it was a bronze finish, which I actually like better than the copper color. You have to be real careful when you put it on heavy. You get strange spots. Like it would be like strange brush stroke type things when you're painting with a brush. I know that I put it on a little heavy right here. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see the difference in the video, but I can see the difference visually. Again, it looks a little bit closer to the way it does on the lid, but it's not quite. I don't know how to describe it. You can see there's a difference. You can tell that there's more paint on that area, so you kind of have to be careful with that because it's borderline on the verge of running. So that's the only drawback. The paint is pretty durable for the most part. It's something that can go directly over metal and be used outdoors. I like it. If you guys are interested in it, I'll put a link down to Amazon down in the description where you can get it. But yeah, stay tuned for part two. Part two, I'll start building the actual frame. I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit, throw on the last little bit of paint, and then head inside and go watch the fights. So subscribe, comment, like. Again, go down to the description, check out the link for Alvarez Metalworks. That's my Facebook page. Please go like it. There's also going to be a link, like I said, to where you can find this, to Amazon, where you can find this Rust-Oleum hammer finish paint. They do sell it in the stores locally, but you might be able to get a better deal off Amazon. I'm not sure. So, all right. Oh, I do know that they do on Amazon. They do sell that paint in quarts. So if you're the type that sprays with your own sprayer, you're going to get a much better deal in the quart than the rattle cans. The rattle cans are pretty spendy when you buy a whole bunch. That one can was full and it's just about empty, and you see how much area it painted. So it's up to you, whatever you want to do. All right, subscribe, comment, like for those that have subscribed, and keep watching my videos. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later.